Hi, my name is John.
And my name is Lloyd.
And we're the hosts of The Pint,
a pop culture podcast.
Lloyd, if you had to tell any of the people out there that might be listening to The Pint for the first time about anything unsavory or disconcerting we might do on the show, what would you warn them about?
Well, sometimes we drop spoilers, and sometimes we swear like motherfucking sailors.
Fuck yeah, we do. You heard it from him. You've been warned.
Listen in.
Welcome to a brand new episode of The Pint, a pop culture podcast. My name is John.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
The other Stu. You guys know Stu, and if you go back a couple years ago, you probably remember Mrs. Stewart, Amanda. She hopped on with me and we did one of those Billboard Top 100 episodes. If you don't remember, Lloyd and I did one a few months prior to that. We did Lloyd's graduation year, which was 1984. And Lloyd, being just the diva he is, when we went to go do mine, which was 1993, he said, I don't know most of this music. I don't want to do this music. So I said, well, let's get Amanda in here. Amanda will have a fun time talking about songs like Whoop, There It Is, Informer, all that good stuff. And back at that point, we had talked about doing Amanda's graduation year. Well, now here we are. It's a while later, but we are doing it. And I'm going to tell you right now, kids, if Lloyd hated the songs from my year, boy, oh boy, would he have hated this one. Because this one is an interesting one. So, Amanda, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Basically, just lay it out there for me. Tell me what year you graduated, which is what songs we'll be doing. And tell me where you went to high school and what town it was in and all that good stuff.
So I graduated in 1999. And obviously, I don't think this song is on the list, but our graduation theme song was 1999 by Prince.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is appropriate. I went to Albert Gallatin High School in a town called Fayette County in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. So picture the redneckiest backwater place that you can think of. And that was it. I graduated with 300 people.
Okay, I was going to ask you. 300's not so bad. I think mine was probably, I don't know. I could be wrong. I guess I don't remember the numbers, but.
Interesting though. Something around the year 1980, 1981. I'm a summer baby, so I graduated at 17. But in those years, the name Amanda became the it name because I graduated with 6 other Amandas.
Wow. And were you Amanda back then, or were you Amy or Mandy or anything like that?
My family calls me Mandy. My family's always called me Mandy. Rob will not call me Mandy. He hates it. I actually, my nickname in high school was Jesus.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know if I want to tread there. I know we talked about Fayette County on the last episode. So you're really you have done a really good job in a short period of time of painting a picture to me of kind of like the area you were from. Was the town you were like in called a holler or anything like that? I'm picturing that kind of.
No, the place I lived was actually called Smithfield, which was even smaller than Uniontown. And my grandparents lived in a coal mining patch, which is basically what we would call now a cul-de-sac. It's a one-way in, the same way back out, like no attached roads. And it was all, my grandfather was a coal miner. So it was a coal mining community and company houses and, the whole shebang. I actually grew up on a farm, a real farm.
Wow. Coal mining grandfather. Coal mining is, yep. I mean, I understand it's an important thing, but you couldn't get me to coal mine if I don't care what the salary is. I don't care what it would be. I am claustrophobic. Like coal mines just feel like was your grandfather ever at any point trapped underground? I mean, I'm sure not like a cave in, but there had to have been close calls.
There absolutely were cave-ins and, industrial accidents and stuff like that. And, back then technology isn't anywhere near what it is now. But no, the worst thing that happened to him was he chopped off the tip of his pinky finger. He then took black tape, wrapped it up in black tape, and kept on working because black tape and duct tape will fix anything in a redneck county.
Oh, right. This episode's dedicated to your grandfather. I hope
it's taking a turn.
Is he still with us? Okay.
He's not. No, he passed away a few years ago.
In memoriam, then. We're going to do one in memoriam. I guarantee your grandfather would really hate most of this music.
Oh, so yeah, my grandfather drove us. I went to church a lot when I was a kid, and he would drive us to church on Sundays and the music on the radio. I remember when TLC's Waterfalls came out, and he just very stoically, he was like, just stick to the rivers that you're used to. That's a good lesson.
Well, that's good. Your grandfather was able to take some heed some warning from TLC's words of wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, three little letters put her in her final resting place, and he's like, I know that means AIDS. So here's the format of the episode, because it's been a while. I'll refresh everybody. Billboard has a top 100 singles chart they do every year, and at the end of the year, they have the top 10 for that year. I didn't dig through again and get all the rules as to how, but it's all related to sales, nowadays, digital streaming, stuff like that. That's how they figure out what these best-selling singles are, radio airplay, all of that. Because their year ran from, I believe it was November or December of the year prior to November of the current year, some of these songs actually came out in 1998, and I'll mention which ones. These songs are not all number one songs. That's important to point out. The Billboard top 10 singles are not all number ones. They're just the ones that by the points amassed, I guess, through airplay, sales, and everything were on this list. So again, this isn't a listing of their top 10 number one singles. This is just what they consider their hot 10 singles of the year. All right. So now that we've talked about it, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into the list. I'm going to go from 10 to 1. At the end of the episode, me and Amanda are going to pick, each of us, the song that we dislike the most and or just don't care for the most. And then our two favorites, number 2, and then a clear number 1. And we'll do that at the very end. I'm going to mention the song. I'll give you some factoids about it. We'll play a clip of the song after I mention the song. We'll kind of discuss it. We'll kind of discuss what we think of the song or if there was any good memories of it, especially for Amanda. I will start this off by saying right off the bat, I consider myself a music fan. I consider myself a pretty knowledgeable trivia guy when it comes to movies, music, all that stuff. There are 3 songs on this list that I did not know. And I thought to myself, oh, I probably know it. I probably heard it and I just don't know it by name. So when I went into these songs and listened to them again, 3 of them I do not know at all. So interesting.
Can I just guess? Was one of them that Deborah Cox song?
150%.
I was like, I don't know what this is. And when I listened to it, I was like, okay, yeah, I remembered it, but I was like, you would have put a gun to my head. I never would have known this song existed. Same
thing. I had no clue what that was. And then 2 others, but we'll give those away as we go along. All right, let's start with number 10. So the number 10 year-ending single in 1999 was a little song called Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. Let's listen to that for a second. So Ricky Martin was a member of Menudo back in the 1980s. That is that popular, I think they're Puerto Rico based, Latin boy band where once they aged out, they got kicked out. There's been 1,800 members of Menudo. A guy that he was in Menudo with named Robbie Rosa, a member from 84 to 87, wrote this song for Ricky. They did a couple songs together. This was actually co-written by Desmond Child. Desmond Child has written a million songs, Alice Cooper's Poison, Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, Aerosmith's Dude Who Looks Like a Lady, Michael Bolton's How Can We Be Lovers When We Can't Be Friends. He entered the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2008. This song was number 1 for 5 consecutive weeks in 1999. It had 4 nominations at the 42nd Grammy Awards. This song is pretty influential, I think, in bringing back a lot of Latin pop music, J-Lo, Pitbull, stuff like that. And of course, it introduced the world, kind of reintroduced them to an international sex symbol, Ricky Martin. Amanda, song Ricky Martin, what did you think? Were you a fan? Did you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, it was a great song. It was super fun. I didn't know Menudo. I didn't know about Menudo until well into adulthood. So I was not a Menudo kid, but yeah, no, Ricky Martin's great. He was super fun. Again, gun to my head, I probably couldn't tell you anything else Ricky Martin sang.
He had a minor hit he had two minor hits a few years later. Of course, one of them was more known for being made into a joke on American Idol. Do you remember She Bangs?
Oh, yeah, and that guy, She Bangs, yeah.
Yeah, William Hung brought She Bangs to the world. And then he had a song, I think it's called The Cup of Life, that was the theme for one of the years of the World Cup. The World Cup, I guess, hired him to write a song for them. And so that one isn't very big either. But yeah, Livin' La Vida Loca. Are you a fan generally of that kind of like, I guess like dance music? What's the word I'm looking for?
No, I am more of an R&B dance music person or a rap hip hop music. Like that's the stuff I like to dance to now, especially. But back then, hey, you were learning line dances. The Macarena was happening.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of stuff like horns in this song. So
yeah.
Ricky Martin, and Ricky Martin seems like he's always been a good guy. And credit to Ricky Martin for being a huge, at one point a huge star. And it was very hard for him. He came out as gay years later. And, that's brave for anybody to do, but for somebody who has to worry about their career in a time like this. So ups to Ricky Martin. All right. So that is Livin' La Vida Loca at number 10. Number 9 is the song that we were just discussing a few seconds ago. It's by a Canadian artist named Deborah Cox. It's called Nobody's Supposed to Be Here. Let's play a clip of that right now. So some information about that song. Second song off of her album. I'm sorry. It's from her second album, One Wish. Co-written by This Is How We Do It himself, Montel Jordan. So he got a co-writing credit on that. It hit number 2 on the Billboard Top 10 or 100. December 5th of 1998 and stayed there for 8 weeks. It is one of the longest ever songs to stay at number 2 and never rise to number 1. In 1998, she won the Soul Train Award for R&B Soul Single by a Female. My opinion on this one, when I listen to it, is I don't know if you know this song, Amanda, but here's how I will equate it. Do you know the song by D'Angelo, How Does It Feel? Do you know that song?
Not off the top of my head. I know music once I hear it, though.
Yeah. So after we record this, go listen to How Does It Feel. This song felt to me like and I think that song's after. This song felt to me kind of like similar, like real slow jam R&B.
Oh yeah.
Almost like choir-y type vocals coming in on it.
That I was like, this is a gospel song.
Yeah.
I started listening to more, like, when I looked it up, because I was like, I don't know this. And once I heard it, I was like, I recognize it. I wouldn't know the words to it, but I recognized it. And then I started listening to more songs on that album. And it has a very gospel vibe.
Yeah, so this one was out of left field. When I pressed play on this one, I absolutely felt like I was going to be like, oh, I know this song. I just didn't know the name or who did it. I've actually heard of Deborah Cox before, but it wasn't for this because... it's amazing to me that a song was, like number 2 for 8 weeks. That's a pretty big deal. That seems like that song should be a big deal. I fully admit, when you get into like the 2000s, like maybe 2005 or so and past, so the last 20 years, I don't know a lot of pop music at all. But I felt like the 90s, I had a pretty decent handle on it. Our last episode, the 93 one, even songs I didn't like, I knew.
Yeah.
This one just came out of left field, so...
Is she an actress or anything? Because I had the same thought. I was like, I know this name. But then when I listened to other stuff, I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I wonder. I didn't look any further to see if maybe she started starring in stuff or she started. She was Canadian. That's the biggest thing I read, and some awards, but this is like her song. Like it wasn't like, oh, okay, she had a bigger song at another point and this one was big too. This is the one. So
Yeah.
if we don't know her from this, I don't know. I don't know what we know her from. All right. Number 8 on the list is Every Morning by Sugar Ray. Let's listen to this.
And you ripped it out. Something's got me reeling, stop me from believing, turn me around again. Said that we can do it.
All right. Before we get into any talk about Sugar Ray in this song, I got to ask you, because it seems like 1999 Amanda might have been Mark McGrath. Super hot or no?
Super hot.
Yeah.
Fun story about this song. And Rob and I were honestly just talking about this a couple weeks back with friends, and I made them listen to this album. I, of course, loved this song. So, I got the CD because that's what you did back then. The album is this weird, like, straight edge rock album with this one song on it that is just a complete departure from the genre of the whole entire rest of the album.
This is the one the studio told them to throw on.
It was so weird. And I went to see him in concert. Like, he opened. He wasn't the headliner, but he was opening for 311. So I went to see him. And he didn't even sing the song. He sang all these other, like, hard rock songs. I was like, dude, you got the one song that we all like.
Come on, McGrath. I don't want to hear Fly 6 times. I want to hear Every Morning. Every Morning was the lead single off their third album, 1459. And I think it's a funny album title. When I was doing the research on this, they called it 1459 because after Fly was a hit on their first album, they figured they had their 15 minutes of fame, so it was counting down. 1459 is like what they have left.
Oh, all right.
It reached number 3 on the Hot 100. Written by a guy named David Kahn, who has produced Paul McCartney, Stevie Nicks, Kelly Clarkson, and then just to be hip, I'm going to say someone's name that he's produced that I don't even know who she is, but I know she's big right now. Lana Del Rey. So
yeah,
I don't know. I just know the name. I hear the names. I just don't know who they are. Sugar Ray, like you said, kind of a rock band, poppy, when they started to kind of do all the big hits and everything. Mark McGrath, very, charismatic and good looking. Look, I'm as straight as an arrow and I might fly his way. I admit that. Years ago, they had a show on VH1 called Rock and Roll Jeopardy. This is around this time. And Mark McGrath might be one of the smartest, like, music trivia guys ever. He's incredible. This is like kind of like a poppy, it's got a little bit of like a flamenco guitar in it, song. And I do enjoy this. I would be mad if I paid to see Mark McGrath and he did not play Every Morning, as happened to you.
It was fresh. I was like, all right, these other weird ass songs, The Revenge of Paul Revere or something. It's bizarre.
You should have yelled out to him. Nobody's asking for this, Mark. Nobody's asking for this. All right, number 7, we're getting into some more kind of straight pop territory. And of course, I do know this one. It's Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera. Why don't we listen to that for a second?
Baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta love me the right way. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true.
So Christina Aguilera was one of the kids that came out of the Disney Mickey Mouse Club, right? Like her,
Right.
Justin Timberlake, the other guy from NSYNC, JC Chazé, who's the actor?
Britney.
Ryan.
Didn't Britney Spears come from?
Britney Spears absolutely
Yeah.
did. And what's his name? Why am I blanking? Ryan Gosling. Is Ryan Gosling? Gosling. What's Gosling's name? Ryan?
There is a Ryan Gosling. I don't
Yeah.
know if he was on Mickey Mouse.
No, he was.
Okay.
I had Gosling in my head, and suddenly I thought his first name was something different. Ryan Gosling was in that as well. This is off of her original first album. Spent 5 weeks at number 1. It charted it topped all of the charts in 21 countries. nominated for Best Female Pop Vocals at the 42nd Grammy Award. And she has a Spanish language version called Genio Atrapado that came out on her second album a year later, which was called Mi Reflejo, because she has some Latin blood in her, and she said, I'm going to do a album all in Spanish. All right, so we may or may not talk about Britney Spears in a few minutes, but I'm gonna bring it up right here and right now. I feel like there's two camps, like back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Were you a Britney girl or were you a Christina girl? So Amanda, I'll ask you and then I'll tell you what I think.
So I like Britney Spears a great deal, don't get me wrong, but I was a theater choir nerd, so to me, musical integrity was very important.
Okay.
And Christina Aguilera could actually sing.
Yes, she could.
And Britney Spears was very, very studioed.
Yeah.
And everything I heard, I never saw Britney Spears in concert, but everything I heard is she basically just lip syncs to a backtrack. Now, I have since heard Britney Spears singing, and she's perfectly talented. But back then, it was Christina Aguilera has the actual talent. I'm going to sing Hit Me Baby One More Time, no matter what.
Right. I feel like Christina, like you said, is the voice, and Britney kind of had, well, and let's not skimp, like Christina Aguilera was beautiful then as well. But I think Britney Spears, you know what the problem with Britney Spears was? And I'm not being gross by saying this, but her first video, she's like in a schoolgirl outfit. And I think that like just fried men's minds across the world. And they just looked at her a different way and were able to kind of look at her and go, yeah, her voice isn't like as good as other ones, but she dances really well and she's wearing this. So, and we'll get into the songs too. We'll kind of talk about the songs because, like, well, look, I'm trying to be funny here. Britney Spears comes up in a little bit, so I think if you take those two songs, we'll talk about that. Which one is also the winner in that? All right, so let us get over to number 6 on this list. It is a song from a band called Sixpence None the Richer, and the song is called "Kiss Me." Let's listen to a little snippet of that. All right, Sixpence None the Richer. Amanda, I could be wrong on this, and your nickname was Jesus in high school. Are they a Christian band? Was this a Christian band? Do you know?
I don't think so. I truly was not actually probably much of a Christian in high school anyway. The Jesus name is unrelated. But this song does it not, well, for me, it evokes the strongest memories of sitting in my one friend's like movie room with all the lights off, watching the teen comedies and the teen horror flicks. And this is like the teen movie song from the 90s, right?
Yeah, it does fit that. Peaked at number 2. It's off their self-titled third album. It's the band's highest charting single, and the 6th best-selling single of 1999, written by the band's guitarist Matt Slocum. And Matt Slocum and the singer Lee Nash, after Sixpence None the Richer ended in the mid-2000s, like 2 or 3 years ago, they actually joined 10,000 Maniacs, which is, from the 80s, a pretty popular college rock band, for like a year. So they became the singer and guitar player of that band, and then they left that too. This is one, I'm not going to show my cards for what I like or dislike, but I don't know. This song, it's just not my bag. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's
folksy.
It's folksy. It's, oh man, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this song was kind of written and recorded and built to appeal to younger girls more than it would be to a guy. I was like 23 around this time, even to now. Like, I just don't feel like this song connects with me, But meanwhile, like a song like the Cardigans' "Love Fool," I love that song. And I don't know. I can't even quantify why I'm putting them in the same basket, but this one, there's just something about it. It just doesn't grab me necessarily. So Sixpence None the Richer. We learned that Amanda's nickname was not from being a Christian, and we don't know yet whether this is a Christian band. So, all right, let's get to number 5. We're getting to the top half of the list. And here it is, as we promised, Britney Spears, "Baby One More Time." Let's listen to this.
Give me a sign.
Written by Max Martin, Swedish hitmaker from around that time. Let's see. He wrote Pink's song So What? He wrote I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry. He's done a lot. It's Gonna Be Me by NSYNC. And the only Taylor Swift song that I know, Shake It Off. The only one. I couldn't name it.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, couldn't name one. Couldn't name if it gun to head, as you said. If someone said to me, name 5 fucking Taylor Swift songs right now, or I'd blow you away, I would have to just repeat Shake It Off 5 times and hope that there's a technicality.
Shake it off.
Yeah.
Shake it off. Just keep saying it.
Hopefully, like, You didn't say it had to be different ones.
That is so surprising. Taylor Swift is like
I feel
the biggest person in the world, right?
Do you have anything in your life that you feel like maybe many other people have done or a movie they've watched that it becomes a point of pride for you where you're like, I just am not going to learn or I'm not going to watch this movie?
Midsommar.
There you go, right? So
I know everybody in the entire world loves Midsommar, and I'm like, I hate this movie.
But even I don't even mean something you hate necessarily. I mean something that you're just never going to watch or try. You know, like people are like, oh, you've got to watch this show. And it's like, or something that's 30, 40 years old that everybody has seen and you haven't seen it. And you're like, because I do that. I'm like, fuck it. I will never watch that. Now,
all the Monty Python shit.
There you go.
Rob is like obsessed with the Monty Python stuff. He's tried to get me to watch and I fall asleep. I'm like, this is dumb. And I don't want to try. And everybody loves it.
And that's yours. You keep that. You never watch Monty Python.
Never.
For me, I refuse to learn anything more about Taylor Swift's music. I feel like if I can avoid the biggest music artist on earth right now, if I could avoid her somehow this long, I feel like I've done the right thing for me. So someone could tell me like Taylor Swift, John, wrote a song about you. And it's so beautiful. And she read something about me and said, this guy sounds like he's awesome. I would say that's great, but I can't listen to it because it's Taylor Swift. And I fucking refuse. I'm just not doing it.
That's hilarious.
So let's see.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yeah. Number 1 on Billboard charts. In Rolling Stone in 2020, COVID year, they ranked this the number 1 debut single of all time. So number 1.
So I'm glad you said about the way the charts were set up because I would have put money on this song coming out in 98.
Oh, it did. I didn't mention that yet. I didn't mention that yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, we got so excited about Taylor Swift that I skipped that because I wrote 98 here. So as I said earlier, there was some that dropped at the very end of 98 and they get fostered into the next year.
That makes sense. Yeah, you said that at the top and I was like, that makes sense because there's 1 or 2 of this where I was like, that was not a senior year high school song.
Yes, this was 98 and the next song actually I'll bring up as well was 98 and bled into 99. Rolling Stone in 2021 also put this at number 205 of their 500 greatest songs ever. Look, like it's super memorable video. It's a super memorable kind of like down. Like you hear it and you immediately know like where you are, where you're at. Like you're right there. I'll freely admit this. I was, like I said, 23 at the time. I remember seeing the video and here's this like, I don't know, 16, 17-year-old girl and just being like, holy shit, she's fucking cute. And, just being like, she was probably, in all honesty, of that ilk, the biggest female pop star since Madonna, or at least the biggest, like, I would almost say like she was everywhere for a few years.
And singular, not in a girl band.
Yes.
No, I don't disagree.
She was everywhere. There was, Austin Powers and Pepsi commercials and every award show. And then she's doing things like, iconic that everybody remembers, dancing with that yellow snake and that outfit. And, and now unfortunately we're in the second half of her life where she's being remembered for, or at least
there's a whole conspiracy. If you ever want to go down a really fun rabbit hole, there's a whole conspiracy that she is basically dead or kidnapped by people and it's just been replaced by AI. And like all of these weird dancing videos, and their whole premise for this is her teeth don't match. And that the way she used to smile, it was a full tooth smile and you could see all of her bottom teeth. And this person or this AI doesn't smile the same. It's hilarious. Just if you ever get insanely bored, go down this rabbit hole.
I'll be going down this rabbit hole after we get off this episode tonight. So I followed her on Instagram at one point. I don't know if I still do. And I remember the thing that I found to be weirdly humorous was, look, if you think back to Britney Spears back in 99, 2000, all those years, one of the things that she was known for was she was a really good dancer. Like, you know.
Yes. And now, no.
So the videos on Instagram were always videos of her doing this twirl dance, like on her.
A circle. Spinning
Yes.
in a circle. Yeah.
And I would watch them and go, I'd see one or two and go, oh, being a guy and going, hey, she still has it. She still looks pretty good. And then by like the 10th, I'm like, can she now do no more moves? And now I think maybe she's a fucking program of some sort. And
There you go. People think she's made of AI. They're like, they take a picture of her and they blow it up and they say like, look, this knuckle is disproportionate. Like it is. It's very fun. That's funny that you think that, because it is definitely a conspiracy theory that this iteration of Britney Spears isn't an actual real person.
I saw a video of her yesterday, as a matter of fact, where she has like a real froggy voice. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen anything. Well, the thing that I've seen most recently is her dancing in front of a fireplace, and they're like, she's gonna burn the house down. And
she's a mess. I hope she gets help.
You can't be that skilled of a dancer and then just lose it. Like I don't know, maybe a shit ton of drugs, but like, there's no way you could have that much choreography skill and then suddenly you can't do anything but spin in a circle.
I saw a video like on Instagram or somewhere like maybe a week ago, and it was a video of Joey Fatone from NSYNC, who now is just like, like a middle-aged, like kind of frumpy, heavier dude.
Dude, yeah.
And him and Lance Bass, and then there was somebody else. I can't remember who it was, but the video was they were doing the Bye 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 choreography in like a very casual setting. And Joey Fatone, at like 48 years old, weighing like 270 pounds, was doing it like it was yesterday's, like he was doing it yesterday. Just, you could see, he looked bored. He's doing all the moves.
Yeah.
And so, Britney Spears has that. Like, but
100%. Like, even as just like a casual dancer that I am, I remember choreography from like years ago.
She had all those problems with that what do they call that? Conservatorship?
The conservatorship, yeah.
I hope she's okay. Cause, look, she's, I hate to say it, but yeah, she's an icon. I would say if I had to pick between Britney and Christina, I would pick Britney, kind of for the whole package in terms of like pop star, that whole thing.
Oh yeah. Currently repertoire Britney, right? Yeah.
More songs that I enjoyed, stuff like that. But I'm not dumb. I know Christina Aguilera can like blast her through the back of a fucking house with her voice. So, all right. Number 4. The second song on the list that I have never fucking heard. When I went and listened to it, I certainly had never heard it. I thought maybe I had. It is from as a matter of fact, I was so confident I had never heard it that by title, I thought it was a cover of an Elvis Presley song. It is not. It is from 1998 as well. It is Whitney Houston featuring Faith Evans and Kelly Price. Heartbreak Hotel. Let's listen to a second of that.
And said you took your time.
Amanda, do you know this song?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was at the time that and the Whitney Houston song about you went out to dinner and it's not right, but it's okay. That's what it was called.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like these two songs are kind of married together in my head. It was the BET,
I've heard It's Not Right, It's Okay. This one, I think I was familiar with the fact that she had a song called Heartbreak Hotel. And again, I figured, I'm going to listen to it and go, it's that song. I just didn't know the name of it. I did not know this at all. Faith Evans is an R&B star. She was married to Notorious B.I.G. Kelly Price is the voice on several of the Puff Daddy hits back in the day. She is the singing voice on Mo Money, Mo Problems. This hit number 2 on the Billboard charts for 3 weeks, written for TLC's third album. written for TLC's third album. Remember that. That's important in a few minutes. Rejected by TLC. So it ended up going to Whitney Houston. It is basically Whitney and her two backup singers. It's just kind of like an R&B love song.
Yeah.
But to me, it just kind of, again, didn't grab me at all. It just feels like a base level angry female, angry, jilted lover song.
Yes. Yeah, it's a heartbreak song, not so
Yeah.
much a love song, I would say, but yeah.
Yeah. I checked out the video to see if it rang any bells. Not at all. The only bell it rang for me is I've always thought Faith Evans is hot as shit, and it rang that bell for me. But other than that, I was like, okay, I don't know this, and it's not the Elvis song, so I felt good. I felt good finding that out. And just to make it easy on everybody, the number 3 song is also a song that I have no idea or had never heard before. And upon listening, realized that if I had ever heard this, I didn't remember it. It is Angel of Mine by Monica. Let's listen to a second of that.
For you right on time, angel of mine. Nothing means more to me than what we share. No one.
So Amanda, I got to ask again right into it when we do these songs. Do you know this one?
Yeah. Yeah,
Jeez.
Monica and again, I'm weird. I just remember music, but Monica and Brandy were so big.
I remember their song together. I remember The Boy Is Mine.
Yeah, in my mind, these two are just like intertwined. But yeah, I remember that song. Again, Rob and I were talking about this list, and he was in the same boat. He's like, I've never heard this song. And I was like, no, you definitely have.
Yeah, I listened. I watched the video and I went, nope, don't know it. It's a cover of a British R&B group called Eternal, or from 1997, so 2 years prior. It was Eternal's 12th and final top 10 UK singles chart song. It hit number 1 on Billboard for 4 weeks. So again, a song that was number 1 in America that I just somehow have forgotten totally if I ever knew about it. Her full name is Monica Arnold. She is cousins with Ludacris. Chris Bridges is her cousin. And I just, I don't want to bring the room down, but when I read this, I just went, shit. Like, if I ever met Monica, I'd want to give her a hug. Monica, at the time, was dating a gentleman, I didn't write the name down here, whose brother had died recently. They went to his brother's gravesite, and unexpectedly, he pulled a gun out and killed himself at the gravesite with her there.
Oh, God.
Like, that's fucking trauma.
That's bad.
That's crazy bad. So the nicest thing I could say about this song is that I like The Boy Is Mine. This one just, it kind of fell along with Heartbreak Hotel in when I watched the videos, and I listened to them a couple times. To me, they both kind of, it made me go, okay, I know why these songs aren't like in my memory banks, especially being a few years older than you and kind of being past that point. This song here in particular, any memories or anything you like about it in particular?
No, it's not a song that I vividly remembered, but once I actually knew it by the name, like I recognized it by name and could think of the tune to it. But no, it's another one. It's probably a little too mellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little too love songy, mellowy.
Yeah, I feel that way too. There seems to be a kind of at least 3 songs on this list that all fall into that kind of, slow R&B.
Soulful, slow R&B, slow jams kind of stuff, yeah.
And I like slow jams. I'm not saying I don't like slow jams, and I love like 80s and 90s R&B stuff, but these ones, especially the Heartbreak Hotel and this one, they just seem a little bit more generic. I'll give the Deborah Cox song a little bit because of the gospel-y vocals. But yeah. All right, let's go to our number 2. We're at the top 2 now. We just mentioned TLC's third album, which was called Fan Mail. Well, here's the first single off of it, No Scrubs. Let's listen to that.
With no money, oh no, I don't want
right. So the lead single, as I said, off of Fan Mail, 4 writers it took to write this, and only one of them, only one of them was in TLC. Left Eye, Lisa Lopez, wrote the rap part. So there's 2 versions of the song. There's the radio version where they don't have the rap, and then there's the one, I think, on the album, which does, or it's vice versa. And I think the video has the rap as well in it. It is their 3rd number 1 single, their 8th top 10, and this one was number 1 on the Hot 100 for 4 weeks consecutive. Amanda, TLC as a band, as a group, what do you think?
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, this song brings back memories. I mean, obviously, teenage girl riding in my best friend's car, singing this at the top of our lungs. Yeah.
It actually also did something that I know we've mentioned on other music episodes, but like it gave us a word or a phrase in the American or the world's lexicon, right? Like, I don't know what a scrub was. And to this day, I'm not saying people still use it regularly, but like a scrub is like you
say scrub, they know what you mean.
They know what they mean. They define it in the scrub is, they tell you.
A scrub is a guy who thinks he's fly, and it's also known as a busta. As a
busta, right? You almost need like another one to tell you what a busta is, but like you get it from their tone. I always like TLC. I love like Ain't Too Proud to Beg and the early stuff. You mentioned
Crazy
Waterfalls.
Sexy Cool, right? Like that's that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Waterfalls and Red Light Special. Those are all good songs. My taste in music, especially in the 90s, always kind of leaned towards heavy rock and some metal and kind of like, alternative college rock type stuff. But I'm not that guy. I will tell you, like, I love like Belle Biv DeVoe and Boyz II Men. I didn't necessarily always buy the records of that stuff, but I listened to it all the time. If it was, and also like, I think you're the same as me, although I don't know if you had it in Fayette County, but like I grew up with MTV. The MTV generation
by high school, we did have MTV. Yes.
Yeah. So when you're of the MTV generation, you are automatically almost inclined to be able to like anything, because back in the day on MTV, Van Halen would come on and then it would be Weird Al Yankovic and then it would be Janet Jackson. And
Aerosmith and Tupac in the same afternoon. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
You come home to Total Request Live at 4:00 after school.
You liked Carson Daly, didn't you? You thought, he's cute.
Yeah. Who didn't like Carson Daly? Come on.
He definitely was cute. I get it. All right. So that is our number 2, which means we only have one left. Our number 1, your number 1 of 1999's Hot 10 from the Hot 100 Billboard charts. It's Believe by Cher. I couldn't do a robot thing with my voice, but it's Believe by Cher. Let's listen to it for a second.
I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough now.
42nd Grammys, nominated for Record of the Year. Did not win, but it won the Best Dance Recording that year. Cher's only Grammy. Cher's career at...
Really?
This is... How many years ago is this? 26, whatever years ago. She had already had a career for 35 years at that point. And she's had, obviously, music that's been Half Breed and other songs that like have been hits. If I Could Turn Back Time, all this stuff. And this is the only Grammy she has. It's Cher's 5th number 1 single on the Hot 100. So, and it was the UK's highest selling single by a solo female ever to today. It is still one. And it also is the song that introduced the world, I think, to something that's wildly overused, but the auto-tune vocals. But
yes,
it was very, what's the word? It kind of was ingenious and innovative at the time. Amanda, were you a fan of Believe at the time?
I know the song. I think it's fine. I was not like the biggest fan of the song. And it's again because I was such a pretentious little bitch about that's not pure music because auto-tune is not real.
Okay, all right. You didn't like the R2D2 vocals in this thing.
No. I didn't love it.
Now we're going to get to it in a minute, and I don't want you to throw it out there, but have you softened to it now? Like
I have, yeah. I mean, music is an art form and it comes in all shapes and sizes, right? And it's definitely grown on me over the years, but it is definitely not my favorite Cher song.
Okay. All right. That's fair. If you could turn back time, to me, or is probably my favorite, incredible song.
You're probably not supposed to like this song and it'd probably get you canceled now, but I love Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves.
Okay. All right.
Like the whole song is wrong. The whole song, it's about underage sex with an older man, and obviously you're not supposed to say that word anymore, but it's so fun to sing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, hey, look, unfortunately, when something gets canceled, even for the right reasons, if it's imprinted on us,
it's
right?
so hard.
Yeah, it makes it hard. And look, I'm not a Disney fan, but being a Disney adult must be impossible because everything back in the everything. If you're a Disney adult now and you're like, oh, I would love to watch Song of the South. You're like, you can't. No, or they did this and this one or this and that one. It's like, oh shit, no, that's so wrong now. You
know what I saw? And I don't remember this, but I loved Mickey's Fantasia. And that came out when I was really little, right? So, and I remember being obsessed with the parts with the, I don't know, there weren't centaurs, but the fawn. I have since seen that they have remastered that to take out all of the insane racism that was in that. Now, I didn't notice that when I was 6 years old and watching it, but when you watch it as an adult, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's definitely things that I've seen, even doing the podcast, movies I've watched, older films where I'm like, oh no, oh no. And then of course,
oh no.
Yeah. And then you find out about the people. That's also disappointing is when you find out about the people who you love, for what they've created. And then you find out terrible things about them and you're like, oh shit.
It's so hard. It's so hard. We were on a road trip and Rob puts together these really long curated road trip lists. And he had a bunch of Michael Jackson covers, but no actual Michael Jackson. And I was like, did you take Michael Jackson completely out of the playlist? And he's like, yes. I was like, well, that's dedication to your cause because I'm still listening to Remix to Ignition by R. Kelly. Every time I'm bounce. It's.
Yeah, I get it. And I admittedly, I can look at it from the point of view where it's like, okay, Michael Jackson, although never convicted of anything, a lot of things probably happened. There was some people being paid off. It's terrible, but I still listen to Thriller all the time. I
just choreographed something to Dirty Diana. My whole class danced to Dirty Diana the other day.
It is such a, I try to be the best person I can, right? I personally, personally, I don't go to, and this is my personal view, I don't go to Chick-fil-A.
Nope.
Because Chick-fil-A has, they've proven that they're not necessarily.
No, me either. I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, they're not super cool to the LGBTQ community. I know it's longer than that, and I'm sorry. I have stopped, honestly, going to Target because of their DAI because they aligned with something I don't want to align with. Now, all of that being said, I will also freely admit that I cannot be as dedicated as I want to be. Because I can't I need to eat and I need to live. So I feel like a hypocrite sometimes because I'm like, well, I do buy from Amazon and Bezos is obviously not the greatest.
It's so hard. Yeah. I mean, and especially I have an interesting take on it because I grew up in such a small town and they where my parents still currently live, they closed down every independent grocery store. So the only store to shop at is Walmart.
Right.
And that's you could drive 30 miles away to find a grocery store, but you got Walmart. That's it.
In a world that's full of kind of villainy and all this shit, it's there's so many layers to it that it doesn't matter. Okay, I don't shop at Target because of their DEI practices. I'm going to go to Walmart because they haven't done that yet, or they haven't done that at all. But then you look at what they have done, and it's like,
what they have. Yeah. No, yeah. It's rough. And I don't want to say I do as much as I can. I do the things that I can. I truly do. Same with the Target. I used to go to Target all the time. I am the basicest of white bitches, right? You go to Target, you get a little Starbucks, you have a little treat, and then you wander about, and then you spend $100. I don't do that anymore. I don't eat Chick-fil-A, even though they were absolutely the best.
I haven't had Chick-fil-A in a long time, and I didn't love it before, but I am a basic white dude. I love Target. I used to, on my days off, if I had to go and run and get something, I would go to Target. And
It's a little treat.
yeah, I feel like, we're in a very weird time right now. And I just feel like if I can do little things here and there.
Little things, the things that you can. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to it. Cher. So yeah, it's an interesting song. And in the last like 10 or 15 years, we've had 18 million, auto-tune things.
Auto-tunes, man.
T-Pain, all that stuff. All right. So that is our list from 10 to 1. I'll go over the list again real quick for you. Number 10, Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. Number 9, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here by Deborah Cox. Number 8, Every Morning by Sugar Ray. Number 7, Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera. Number 6, Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. Number 5, Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. Number 4, Heartbreak Hotel, Whitney Houston featuring Faith Evans and Kelly Price. Number 3, Angel of Mine by Monica. Number 2, No Scrubs by TLC. And number 1, Believe by Cher. All right, Amanda, it's that time. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the song that we think either is the worst or the one that we could just leave behind and never listen to again.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And I'm going to start with you. What song in this list could you just jettison, and what's the reasoning?
I think it would be that Deborah Cox song because I honestly don't remember it as vividly as the others. I wouldn't have known it existed had we not done this list today.
Okay.
Not that it's a bad song, because it's a very good song, but it just, if I never heard it again, I'd be okay.
Okay. All right. Deborah Cox gets the boot. Sorry, Canada, but we're already kind of fucking you guys over left and right. So
sorry, Canada. We're really
Canada.
sorry.
We're sorry.
For so many things.
Elbows up, Canada. We love you here on the pint. All right. So I'm going to go. And mine is going to be the Heartbreak Hotel song. And here's the reason why. Whitney Houston, like we talked a lot about like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, and Britney Spears like kind of was the next biggest thing since Madonna, and Aguilera has this great voice. Well, Whitney Houston, despite the absolute way her life like fucking shitted out at the end and all the bad stuff that kind of happened, she was like incredible, right?
So talented. Incredible.
I will never not think about how during the Gulf War, when Whitney Houston sang the Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl, how it literally was like one of those weird moments where for a second, everybody in the country kind of like got together. It, like the day after 9/11, like it was like that.
Oh, we were all so patriotic that day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so Whitney Houston singing the Star Spangled Banner, she was beautiful. And, I could rattle off a million hits by her. I Want to Dance with Somebody, Run to You. There's so many songs by her that I absolutely love. And listening to this song a couple times, it's just so generic. It doesn't feel like a Whitney Houston song. It doesn't feel like it has, I love like, I Have Nothing, like strong vocals. And this one just feels like it's Whitney. And then like they kind of brought in a couple of other pop or R&B stars to kind of add accents to it. It's boring. I think that's a problem. To me, Whitney Houston shouldn't have a boring song, and this is a boring one. So I'll keep my Heartbreak Hotel with the king himself, Elvis. So those are the ones we don't like. Let's get into the ones we do like.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we'll start with Amanda's number 2. Amanda, what is your second favorite song on this list and why?
My number 2 is going to be Baby One More Time.
All right, and
it's just such a fun song.
Yeah.
And I've heard like a million covers of it. Like people have interpreted it in different ways. I like to sing it. I like to try to sing the harmony, and I like to sing the melody sometimes. It depends on the mood I'm in. Yeah, it's like, am I the melody or am I the harmony today? Like, it's just such a fun song.
It is a good one, and I will go with that as my number 2 as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I still, I have Sirius XM, and like there's a million channels. I think I have 18 pre-programmed in my car, and if I'm flipping through and that comes out, and Sirius has a thing where like a lot of the stations, or it seems like they start at the beginning of a song, whereas terrestrial radio, you come in wherever it is.
Right, yeah.
So when I go, and if I hear the do 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 dum, I'm like, I'm here for like 4 minutes. I'm doing
Yeah.
it.
You're not turning it off, right? Yeah.
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 Yeah. I have to admit, it's just, it very much encapsulates like the late 90s and like what the pop music of that time was like. So Amanda, this is it. The year you graduated high school, what was your high school like mascot? No, I hope it wasn't anything terrible that we're gonna.
It was the colonial, so it was a man dressed as a colonial.
Okay,
I don't know.
right.
It's just a triangle hat. That's all I remember.
I thought you were gonna say like the Raging fucking Engines or something. Okay,
No,
all right, good.
thank Christ, no. A colonial, which
Okay.
hey, colonizers aren't great either. So,
No,
yeah,
it's kind of on the opposite end, right? It's on the opposite end.
But it's my number one is definitely going to be No Scrubs, right? Like, I feel like that's a no brainer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
that was like the female empowerment, right? That and You Ought to Know, right? Two different ways.
Yeah.
Same vibe.
Okay, all right. I get that. I thought you were going to lean towards Every Morning. All right. So my number one, honestly, on this list, it's another one that when it comes on, I listen to it every time. I did say it's not my favorite of this artist's songs, but I do love it. And it's just, there's something about, it's kind of got like a club dance vibe. And then you got the weird fucking robot vocals. It's Believe by Cher. Yeah. I'll be honest. I hear this song, I leave it on, and I can't break me, whatever her fucking voice is doing.
The key to doing that, if you ever want to sing, is you got to take your jaw and you have to make sure that you pull it back and you lock it in. So, like it says, you got.
Okay, all right, that hurts.
It's backing up. That's how you get that sound.
Okay, all right. Or maybe I'll just get a microchip implanted into my spine that gives me the ability to do auto-tune just randomly. But yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you why I like what I like, but I will tell you that like when I hear that song, I'm listening to it all the way through.
Possibly with that song too, for me, is my aunt was getting a divorce, and that was her like divorce anthem.
Okay.
So there might be a little like psychological damage for that, because we probably heard that song much more than we needed to growing up.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, your aunt was probably like 2 beers deep, like talking about like Uncle Steve, like, oh, I heard
you believe in life after love? I don't know.
I heard he was down at the Applebee's with some fucking whore.
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna go home and listen to Cher and fall asleep in my own urine. Yeah. Okay. All right, Amanda, this has been awesome, and I can't wait to get you back on again soon. Lloyd has been taking a break for a little while, but I am going to make it happen, hell or high water. You, me, Larry, and Lloyd, when Lloyd comes back, are going to do our long promised top favorite 1990s albums. We've talked about this for years.
Rob mentioned it the other day, and I was like, well, I still have the list somewhere on my phone. I pulled up my notes app, and I was going and going and going, and it was like 21, I think.
Oh, I'm terrible sometimes with that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm simultaneously...
It's still going to be my top 10. Let's be honest.
That's good. That's good. I'm going to start kind of redoing mine again, going through it. We're going to have a good time. And again, I think the way we'll do that with 4 people and top 10 is we'll probably break it up into 2 episodes. So that way we do like, 10 through 6 and then 5 through 1. But it's going to be fun no matter what. But Amanda, thank you so much for jumping in. I don't get to see enough of you or hear enough from you. It's always your fucking husband, but I love him.
He talks a lot.
He does. He's not. How many days a week is he in this basement recording? Like,
we are so. I will say the beauty of us is that I'm at dance class 5 days a week, and he's down here 5 days a week, and so it's all works out. Although I was very needy the other day, and he's like, "I have so much to do," and I was like, "Or hear me out. We lay on the couch."
There you go. All right. Let's see ideas as to how to make your marriage that much more successful. You just heard it right there. You
2 completely separate hobbies.
That's it. You go that way, I'll go this way, and then every once in a while, we shall meet in the middle and talk it out. That sounds awesome. But Amanda, thank you so much. And then we're gonna keep doing these as well. So if you want to do one of these,
yeah, I love music. I truly do. So I'm always happy to talk about music, and I like all the genres except country. So if you do anything country song related, I have nothing.
Perfect. And we did a series, and I hate to throw this out there because obviously it took 3 years the last time, but we did a series started it last year called On the Record, and we did the Weezer Blue album. And the next one that I wanted to do was actually Thriller. So since you've said that you're not afraid of talking about Michael Jackson, I'll have you back on for that one as well.
I mean, let's be honest. I pay for Spotify. That money's going where it's going. I'm not directly giving Michael Jackson money. Also, he's dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Michael Jackson's ghost is coming down and getting your going through your coffers or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I can listen. If it's on Spotify, the money's already been made. I'm going to listen to whatever I want to listen to that's on there.
As you should. You can find us, The Pint, anywhere you get your podcast, any podcatcher, The Pint, a pop culture podcast. We have a YouTube channel. You can find us there as well. Patreon, Patreon/The Pint, $2.50 a month or $4 will get you all kinds of different things. Generally and almost always 2 extra episodes every month. So if it's a week, we're on the main feed. If it's a week that has 5 weeks, we put out 5 and then 2. If it's a 4 week month, we put 2. So you're going to get 6 episodes or 7 episodes, which means if you like us, it's a bonus. If you hate us, don't give us that money because that's a lot of us to hear. And hopefully Lloyd will be back soon, but this has been a fun episode. And until next time, I'm saying the word, see ya.
It's over, Johnny. It's over! Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!